Hello my YouTube friend, this is Non-Mechanic here, and today I am working on a 2002 Honda Civic, and I am going to be replacing the cooling temperature switch, not the cooling temperature sensor. I am going to be changing the switch. I was supposed to change the sensor today, but what happened was that they sent me the wrong part. It's right here. This is the one that needs to be replaced. I have a code on it. And this is the cooling temperature switch. Now there's nothing wrong with the cooling temperature switch, but I'm a guy that I'm about to sell this car, and this car got over 200,000 miles, and the switch probably has never been changed. So I am going to change it as a preventive maintenance, and it's right next to the battery right here. It's right there. This is the baby we're going to be changing. So now what you're going to need for this job is a 24 millimeter deep socket or 15-16 deep socket. And I am going to be using a half-inch socket. The reason being because I don't have a 3/8 24 millimeters. And I'm going to be using my ratchet, a half-inch ratchet. You can also use a open wrench in there, a 24 millimeters. I do not have it. So the first thing you want to do is, when you do this, make sure that the car is cold. Make sure the car is not hot. And what you're going to do, the first thing is put a cardboard under the car, and you're going to take a jug and you're going to put it under. The reason why is because when we take the sensor off, it's going to drip cooling. It is said in the book to empty out the coolant. I'm not going to empty out the coolant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove it as fast as possible and put the new one as fast as possible, and hopefully it will not leak that much. So I'm going to take a rag also, and I'm going to put a rag right under it, right in here. Okay, so now that you've done that, you want to disconnect and take off the battery. The reason why you're going to take off the battery is because when you put the socket in, if you're using a deep socket and a wrench, when you're turning, what's going to happen is you're going to hit the battery, you're going to hit the cable. So the safety way for me is take off the battery. And what I did was, I already loosened them up. It's a 13 millimeters open wrench. Let's disconnect negative first. Disconnected the negative, then disconnect the positive. Okay? Once you disconnect that, you're going to remove the battery. And let me see if I can, this is a little battery. Let me see if I can grab it with one hand. I cannot grab it with one hand. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the battery out, start removing this sensor. So now, you have this wire harness right here. You see this wire harness? It has like a little clip in the bottom. So you have to press it, right? You have to press it. And once you press it, you pull it. And there it goes right there. You press this here and you pull it out. So now, like I said, we're going to have to make this quick. And I'm going to see if I can make it quick with one hand. Remove it and put it in. So what we're going to do is put the 15-16 socket in. Okay. Now, we're going to start removing it. Like I said, we're going to have to do it fast because it's going to start dripping coolant. Make sure you put the bucket under a box. And let's see, you're going to have two hands, so you'll be faster than me. I'm going to do it in one hand. Here we go. Go down. Okay, it's loose. So hopefully when I take it out, I can do the rest by hand. Okay. So here we go. It's going to start dripping. So let me put the sensor right there. I mean the switch. And here we go. You got to make it quick. Like I said, it's this one right here. Here we go. One. See how it started leaking? Started leaking there. And you just put it in. Make sure, like I said, make sure that the car is not hot when you're doing this. It leaked, but it didn't leak much. So that's not bad. Do it by hand first. See that? It's right in. Right in there. So now you're going to put the socket back in. And you probably can screw it in with the socket a little more. There you go. You see that? Put it in. This one might be a little different size because it's not fitting. So this one looks like it's a 22, the new one. Let me see. Well, let me find the correct one for the new one. I wasn't able to find something that fit properly in here. We was using the 15-16 on it, and you can see it doesn't fit. It was stripping it. So I found a 1, and it fits a little big, but I think it would do the job. So if you're doing this job and it has a different one, it might be a 25 or a 26 millimeter socket. So I'm going to be using the 1. It's a little big, but I think it will do the job because this don't have to be tight, real tight. Okay, so now put your socket in with your wrench, and you just don't want to go hard. Just go a little soft. See that? It's working. The 1 is working. So there you go. Not too hard, like I said. When you feel it tight, just go a little bit. Okay, so once it's put on, just take your wire harness, and you're gonna put your wire harness in, and you just push it in. Make sure when you push it in that you hear the click, or just make sure you don't hear the click. Make sure that it's all the way in. Look around, make sure everything is even in the switch. And then all you have to do is just clean after yourself. If your car starts smoking, once you clean everything up, is because remember your coolant fell in the car, so it might smoke a little bit. So don't worry about that. Just make sure that it's not leaking here, and you have completed the job on a 2002 Honda Civic coolant temperature switch. Once again, this is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below, or contact me on nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.